So we're going to spend a few minutes talking about resources and research, and I'm going to use a PowerPoint slide pack to help us to do that. I don't know if you've ever seen this video. It features a woman initially in close-up, and she's talking about the pressure in her head. And then the camera pans away, and you can see that she's got a nail in her forehead. And her partner says, well, I'm sure we can fix this. You've got a nail in your forehead. Let's get rid of the nail. And she says, it's not about the nail. And basically, the video is demonstrating the need for her to be listened to and not for her partner to just completely fix problems all the time as quickly as possible. So it's a very amusing little video. Of course, it's a huge stereotype about the differences between the genders. But I think in the context of our well-being discussion, it's quite helpful as well, really. Of course, well-being is something which is quite challenging and not easily fixed. Of course, it covers a number of aspects of our being, but the mindset is definitely one of those. And it's going to take time. If we're going to help somebody in their well-being, then we have to listen well. So these are all aspects of well-being which maybe make us a bit fearful and are challenging in terms of how can we offer support to the dads that we have in our groups. So I think the first resource that I would encourage us to grab hold of really is the conviction that that the work that we do with our dads is a benefit to the dads. We know that. We've been doing that for many years. And then to also take hold of the courage that God gives us, really, and just to step out in faith and maybe make a simple phone call or send a text to one dad, offering them, just saying to them, how are you doing and how are you feeling? And then depending how they respond, we can listen with a sympathetic ear, and we can, just be an encouragement to them, which I think is particularly helpful. And of course, we can say, well, what else can I do? Can I do anything to help you? Maybe we could go for a walk just one-on-one. So different simple steps that we can take to begin a well-being journey with a dad or dads in our group. Of course, we might not feel that we are the experts. So we've put together a wellbeing support resources list here, which covers a whole range of organisations. We just thought that'd be helpful to us all at this time, so that we can signpost different organisations if that's appropriate in the context of the conversation we might be having. So we'll make that list available to you as a link in the email we send out after the event. But of course, well-being is a complex issue and is challenging to get our heads around. And in that context, Mark and I have just started looking at this well-being journey in our church. We're doing it with a number of people in our church. And it's a resource that's been developed by Kingsgate Church, by Dave Smith at Kingsgate Church, and by Hope Together. And it's based on a book that Dave's written and then a series of videos that have been made. But what I like about it in particular is the way that it looks at well-being under 6 different headings. And it breaks it down a little bit. And of course, these are all interrelated, but by breaking it down into separate headings, it makes it more manageable, more approachable for me personally. And also, if I were to think about maybe if I wanted to offer this to offer something on well-being to dads in my group, the idea of being able to break it down into bite-sized chunks, maybe watch a video about each one and then have a discussion on it, sounds more doable. Of course, offering something on well-being to dads is maybe a scary thing for us and also for them, and maybe not something that they would respond to. But maybe they have concerns for the well-being of their own children, particularly at this time, and maybe are asking questions about how they can parent well, how they can parent better. So maybe they'd be open to a parenting program at this time. And the one I've highlighted here is Parent Talk, and the reason I've done that is because it is based around a series of videos which are available on a DVD. So again, it could be run potentially over a series of weeks by watching a video and then having a discussion. But above all, I'd like to come back to what I said at the start, really, for us to take courage and just to try to make a start by reaching out to one of the dads in our group. The second thing I wanted to talk about was resources. And I'm very aware that our Who Let the Dads Out groups haven't met for coming up for a year now. Certainly ours hasn't met face to face for coming up for a year. So I think we need to take some encouragement really from the knowledge that Who Let the Dads Out groups do benefit, are a real benefit to the dads who attend. And I want to ground that in some science and research. So the first point I want to make really is that Who Let the Dads Out group help dads to bond with their children. And this book in particular talks about oxytocin, amongst other things, and which is often referred to as the love hormone. It is what helps us bond together as people. And what science shows us is that oxytocin levels in mums and their children peak together, so they bond well together through care and nurture. So when mum's providing care and nurture. For dads and their children, it's a little bit different. That peak occurs when they play together. So that bonding comes through play. Now, obviously, those two things aren't mutually exclusive, and dads will bond with their children through care, and mums will bond through play. But there is a difference, if you like, between the genders in this regard. And one of my overriding memories of our Who Let the Dads Out group is of a dad called Dino. And he's there with his 9-month-old son. And at this particular moment, he's lying on his back in the middle of the church hall. He is lifting his son up and down in the air and tickling him. And his son is giggling away as he's doing this. And Dino is utterly oblivious to all the other dads around him at this particular moment. And he doesn't care two hoots what anybody's thinking. If he's appearing foolish, all his attention is on his son. And you could almost literally reach out and take hold of the bond that existed between Dino and his son at that moment. The second thing I wanted to say is that Who Let the Dads Out groups help children to learn to play well. There's quite a large body of research into this area of dads and how they play with their children. And Cambridge University has last year did a study of previous studies of about 78 different studies that have been done since 1977, and found that in almost all of those, there was a clear correlation between the quality of the play that dads had with their children and that the children's subsequent ability to handle their behavior well. So high quality play in dads resulted in less hyperactivity and fewer emotional behavioral problems for the children. So picture our dad Dino again, if you will, and his son is now 2 years old, and his motor skills have improved, so he now wants to play on our roller coaster, which is our favourite toy at our Who Let the Dads Out group. But to do that, he has to learn to share, he has to learn to wait in turn and share that toy with other children. And it's great to watch him learning to do that, and it's great to watch the dads helping their children to learn to do that. And then the third thing I'd like to suggest is that Who Let the Dads Out can bring parents together. So research that's been carried out by Manchester University back in 2019 suggests that relationship breakdown in the long term is lower when dads look after their newborn child a few times each week. Now, I know that Who Let the Dads Out groups don't meet a few times each week, but what I have seen through our Who Let the Dads Out group is that process of dads learning their parenting role, taking more responsibility for their parenting role over the months as they've been attending that group. And I've also seen mums being prepared, if you like, to let go a little bit and to trust their partner through that process as well. And I'm sure that is to the benefit of the whole family and improves the relationships for the couple as well. So please do take heart, be encouraged, and look forward to when we can run our groups again, face to face, for the benefit of the dads that we care for. Thank you.
Thanks so much for watching. If you found it helpful, please do click the like button. If you're new to the channel, you can subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos. You can choose to be notified about some or all of them. And finally, if you're in a position to be able to support Care for the Family, please do follow the link in the video description. As a thank you, we will send you some great resources to help you and your family. See you next time.